from Wednesday onwards. Jane.
Sarah, thank you very much. Thank you. And that is the BBC News at 1 for today. You can keep up to date, of course, with all those stories on the BBC website. And here on BBC One, the news continues, of course, because let's join our colleagues wherever you are this afternoon. Have a very good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Hello, good afternoon. Labour has emphatically won the Rutherglen and Hamilton West by-election in South Lanarkshire, and what's been seen as a key test of the party's ability to regain seats in Scotland. The Labour candidate, Michael Shanks, secured over 17,000 votes. That's more than double the total for Katie Loudon of the SNP, who came second. The poll was triggered by the removal of the former SNP MP, Margaret Ferrier, after she broke COVID lockdown rules. Our political correspondent Phil Sim reports.
Celebrating a big win. Sir Keir Starmer in Scotland this morning, having doubled his party's tally of MPs north of the border.
We are the party of change. Now we go on from here. There's much more work to do. This is a first step on a very, very important journey for all of us in Scotland, for all of us across the whole of the United Kingdom.
A 20-point swing from the SNP to Labour saw Michael Shanks cruise to a comprehensive victory in Rutherglen and Hamilton West. There are big questions, meanwhile, for the SNP after a bruising defeat.
There was a real sense of apathy on the doors, not just necessarily towards the Scottish National Party, but in general. And I think that was reflected in the fact that 6 out of 10 people didn't even vote. But we need to be, as a political party, very conscious of the fact that our voters didn't turn out in the way that we expected them to do so.
There was low turnout here in a high visibility contest. But the scale of this victory means Labour will feel they have huge momentum going into the general election.
Well, Phil joins us now live from Rutherglen. And Phil, what are the factors that led to this result?
Well, there are always those caveats around a by-election. It's a standalone contest, there's low turnout, there are a lot of big visits by all of the different party leaders, and indeed the shadow of Margaret Ferrier, the MP kicked out of office, was always hanging over this contest. Now, there were 14 candidates and 12 of them lost their deposits. That includes the Conservatives. Their vote share was hammered on the night, and they've said that there was some tactical voting potentially behind that. But the sheer scale of Labour's victory can't be denied here. I think it was a better result than they could have hoped for, and it was a worse result for the SNP than they had feared.
Yeah, this was the first electoral test for Humza Yousaf's leadership. What does it mean for him?
Well, Humza Yousaf inherited an electoral steamroller from Nicola Sturgeon. Last night it seems that the engines went a little bit cold. Now, Humza Yousaf's been speaking just in the last few minutes, saying that he's disappointed by the result. He says that the SNP need to reflect on what they have to do to regain trust in seats like Rutherglen. And that is the kind of talk you were hearing out of Labour not so very long ago. So Humza Yousaf now has to head into his first party conference as SNP leader next weekend in Aberdeen. He's leading a debate on his independent strategy, a strategy which hinges on winning lots of seats in Westminster elections. So he is going to face difficult questions internally as well as elsewhere about how he can turn this around.
OK, Phil, thank you. Police Scotland has